Hello everyone, I'm making this video to discuss the major issues with the Heroes and Generals War Mode, the feature that's pretty much the entire premise of this game. I think this game has a lot of potential, and I love the unique idea of combining a strategy game with a first-person shooter. But the complexity of this formula without tutorials results in new players being blindly introduced to the game to where not only do they ruin matches with their obliviousness, but at the same time they perceive the game to be broken and unplayable, and then they tell that to others. So I'm going to pitch a few solutions to hopefully alleviate a lot of the confusion, and hopefully that salvages the war mode and keeps players from quitting. First, I'm going to point out that a ton of war mode matches now are one-sided no-contest massacres due to a team starting off with a handful to 0 lives. I'm very well aware that these kinds of matches are created on the strategic end of the game by the generals, but it still sucks when the FPS players have to play them. I know not to use auto-queue to avoid these kinds of matches, but the thing is that all the new players don't. Even if they just want to play the first-person shooter, there should still be a very quick tutorial that explains the asymmetry in some of these battles before they're able to auto-queue. So for weeks it's been up to me to try and play the part of the tutorial in every single game I join and type to them in detail what needs to be done in these particular scenarios. But even when I explain in the utmost politeness and detail of why the commanding officers sent us there and why there are minimal spawns, most of the time the scrubs will just tunnel vision to the capture point icon in the middle of their screen and die like lemmings. So here's my solution for this. It'd be very nice if before the match the loading screen would show where the players are geographically in the war and what circumstances they face. Along with that, if generals could leave a special objective on your HUD or your map from a drop-down menu that says stuff like stall the enemy from winning as long as you can, capture all points, kill as many tanks as you can, shoot down all planes, etc. Now, since the strategy side of the game is pretty much a conglomerate of decision makers, maybe make it to where the objectives I clicked on the most get displayed on the FPS player's screen. In addition to informing the players of the scenarios, it'd be kinda nice if you showed a timer or kill counter for how long they held out for these alternative kinds of objectives in asymmetrical matches, so these poor souls get some sense of fulfillment after being expended like mere pawns. And all of this that I'm proposing would create the essential link between the heroes on the battlefield and the generals in the war room. But unfortunately it doesn't end there. In addition to all of this, there's an epidemic of noobs in war mode that squander the most expensive resources. Despite there being a notation that practically says, go learn how to play in stage battles before joining war battles, in every war match with pilots there's always that one guy flying planes in the ground and saying, well, I gotta learn somehow. And on top of that, there's matches where you're sending a massive force of expensive tanks down a path and they get blocked by a handful of enemy soldiers. Noobs will not only join those matches but constantly spawn tanks against virtually no threat and piss them away because even merely spawning a tank considers the tank dead and detects it from your hard-earned and assembled assault teams. Why the fuck is that? If the tank survives till the end of the match, shouldn't it be refunded? So to prevent noobs from doing catastrophic damage to our army from within, there needs to be a ribbon limitation on war matches for certain things like dogfighting or tanker, and put spawn limitations per player overall. 3 pilots and 12 planes? They should get 4 each, not one asshole flying 10 planes into a tree. Sorry, but there's still one last problem that needs to be addressed, and that's the block exploits, where a douche with a second Steam account can create an enemy character and queue up and quit for a city to prolong or even permanently block thousands of enemies from entering it, even if there's only 20 soldiers defending it. This should have been hotfixed months ago. My apologies for ranting like this. I just feel like the war mode is in shambles right now and the entire community wants all this stuff to be addressed. As a beta tester, I'll keep making more reviews of what I think should be changed or what the general consensus is, and I'll keep making more videos like my pilot video that are in a positive light, like a recon video or a tank crewman video, just so it's not all criticism. Thank you for watching, and please try to get the devs to see this. It'd be nice if a lot of this was fixed. Capture good point.